Okay, now we're ready to string the bass strings over the bass bridge. You find that bridge and you lay it on its side to slide it under the strings. When you tip it up, the feet stand between the wires of the treble bridge. The black marking dots should face the center of the instrument. They are easier to see when you play if they are oriented toward the middle. The bottom of this bridge should be about 11 or 12 inches from the corner of the box. You can use tape to hold it there temporarily. Then you can tape the top end about 3 or 4 inches from the upper corner. The placement of this bridge is not critical because we play only one side of it, the left. The right side is not meant to be tuned to any particular notes, so there is no critical ratio across this bridge. Lay the black delrin on top of the bridge, make it flush at the top end, and then clip it about a 1/4 inch beyond the bottom end, just to help keep the bottom strings from sliding off the end. Find the first wound string and pull it across the bass bridge, and be careful to thread it under the treble bridge through the first opening between the bottom pairs of treble strings. Pull the end past the lowest tuning pin, measure 3 fingers beyond, and clip the wire to that length. Then you can poke it into the hole in the tuning pin and turn the pin clockwise to wind the string until taut. The second string of that pair goes over the bass bridge and under the treble bridge in the same way, and it gets attached to the next lowest pin. Remember to always wind the wraps downward on the tuning pins. It may be a little more awkward here because you're working in the opposite direction as the treble bridge, using the opposite hands. After we get these wound strings attached, we'll turn the instrument around, and then it'll be a little easier if you're right-handed especially. Here's another view of the process. We go over bass bridge, under the treble bridge with both strings. We take one, we figure out which pin it goes to, and we measure the distance and clip, and then we poke the string into the pin, pull back a little, and turn it a little bit to set the hook, and then wrap downward until it's taut. So you'll install all 4 wound pairs of these bass strings in this way. Once the wound strings are installed, you may want to turn the instrument around so you can string the plain wires with the same orientation used for the treble strings, with the tuning pins to your right and the hitch pins on your left. Find the coil of 22 thousandths wire for those first 2 courses of plain wire. You'll need enough wire from the coil to reach across the instrument and back again. I remove about 8 or 10 feet of wire, and then I wrap the end around the coil again to keep it from unraveling. Now I measure enough string to go across the instrument and back again, and make sure I have enough, and then I'll clip it off the coil, cut a generous length and fold it in half to form a loop in the middle. Now thread that loop under the treble bridge from right to left, and then over the bass bridge to the proper hitch pin, the screw, so you can hook the loop around the screw. Check the length of the strings and clip them if necessary. Start one end on one tuning pin. Don't pull it tight until you start the other end on the adjacent pin. Take care to make sure you have not twisted the wires somewhere in the middle of the instrument. They must be parallel in order to vibrate without buzzing. You can tighten the tuning pins alternately to even out the number of windings on each pin. Proceed in the same way for the rest of the instrument, making sure you use the proper gauge strings as shown in the instructions. When all the strings are installed, you can turn the instrument around to the playing position and begin tuning the entire instrument. You'll watch a separate video for that operation.